Tonight on UPfront, first National Vice Chairperson of the National Democratic Congress, Chief Sofo Azoka, comes under intense criticism for his alleged physical assault on the third National Vice Chairperson of the New Patriotic Party. Tonight, the New Patriotic Party is staying true to their demand, asking the IGP to investigate what they believe is the physical attack on this third National Vice Chairperson of the NPP, as you can see the shot there, and also as they proceed to ask the IGP to probe further commentary by Chief Sofo Azoka relating to some death threats, we understand, against the minority leader and some of the leading figures of the minority side in Parliament. And of course, what you see on the screens now are excerpts of what transpired during the Akwatia by-election, which was largely successful, but for the singular incident which the New Patriotic believes ought to be punished. And of course, you see excerpts of when, of course, the Ghana Police Service had attempted to interact and intervene in that brawl between Chairman Azoka and the third National Vice Chairperson of the New Patriotic Party, Alhaji Osman Masawudu, there in your shot. And that's why tonight on UPfront, it's our focus. How do we put a stop to violence during our by-elections? And what's, first of all, the National Democratic Congress's response to the demands now by the New Patriotic Party? In fact, yesterday, the Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party, Richard Ahiangba, was on this very show indicating that the IGP ought to act and act fast. Well, today, he has proceeded to the IGP, petitioning him and asking him to take action. Listen.
As you know, the New Patriotic Party issued a statement yesterday in the nature of a petition against the conduct of some NDC personalities in Akwatia by-election. This morning, we came here to submit that petition formally to the IGP to have the police investigate and possibly arrest and punish the conduct of Alhaji or Chief Sofo Azoka and Abdul Wahab, who is a constituency communication team member or officer for Abuakwa North constituency, Abuakwa North of the NDC. We are interested in justice. Our coming here is designed to formally petition the IGP. We know the police saw it. The particular abuse of our third vice, Alhaji Osman Masawudu, was in the full glare of your cameras, and the police were there. To some point, they came in to separate, and the person who slapped Masawudu, our third vice, was restrained by the police after he slapped him. But strangely, the police didn't arrest him. A criminal act, the police saw it, they separated, which was good, but there was no action. And that's not how we want to carry on our country. Just as we're talking, if any of myself or my deputies go ahead to slap any of you here, it won't suffice just to separate and so don't slap him the second time, and that's it. So we want the police, as if they haven't seen it, we have brought it to their attention. Evidence on pen drive has been included with a petition. So if they haven't seen what you guys have dutifully circulated in the media, at least we have provided for them so that they can take full account of what happened and take the necessary step to bring sanity by punishing these individuals, not only for the sake of punishing them, but to create a certain standing deterrent for all who would want to copy such behavior, and that our democracy will not tolerate that, and that is not part of how we want to engage ourselves in a democratic process. So that's the reason we came, and we are very happy, even though we didn't have the opportunity to extensively discuss with the IGP. Was gracious enough to give us a few moments and then had promised that we can come in and see him. So we are working on appointment to see him later on if need be to discuss the petition further. But we want to also plead with you as the media to focus on this petition. The reason is that it is happening to a member of the New Patriotic Party, but it is happening to our democracy. And if these individuals are emboldened because there's no sanction, there's no punishment, they will do it to anybody. And that anybody could be you, could be me, and our democracy suffers. And so we are urging you to focus on this petition. We are going to be focused on it, but we want it to be a collective effort. It is not an MPP's effort to chase or to witch hunt these individuals or to have them punished necessarily, so that our democracy will benefit from it. So we plead with you to join with us in this pursuit so that our democracy will benefit from it at the end of the day.
IGP had a few moments with you.
He hasn't received the copy directly. We submitted it, and he has ordered an individual to receive it and process it, that he would look at it. But he is in agreement that what step we're taking is in order.
The Aquitia Police Command has put out a statement that they've already begun investigations into the chairman car incident. Does it give confidence that the police has already started with investigations?
That's okay, but this is for good measure, that at least your cameras capture it, that this formal process has been triggered. The reason this is necessary is that, you were here with us when we went to the Ablekumanov rerun. Matters are still outstanding. People who have abused people took too long. You understand? And knowing that this didn't happen in private, I wonder why Sofo Azoka is wherever he is and is not in custody. I wonder where individuals there, Abdul Wahab, who was threatening to say that if we had come here to meet Nanabi, if we had come here to meet Anodompre, if we had come here to meet Honorable Afenyo Makin, there will be by-election in his constituency, or they would effectively kill them. That's what he was saying. So we wonder why those people are walking free. And so this is for good measure, and to bring focus where it's necessary to say that the police must act. And the IGP, being the #1 police officer in our country, is proper that we notify him formally. And if the Aquitia district commander is taking any step, we commend him. But we need drastic action to be taken so that these conduct are nipped in the bud in our democracy. If it's an MPP person, let the law work where it must work. If it's an NDC person, so be it. But nobody should be shielded from these kinds of misconduct in our democracy.
Right. Okay, we'll hear from the National Democratic Congress shortly on what it will do, knowing that now the NPP is incensed about the comments from Chief Azoka. But what I want us to do first is to analyze the security implications for the nation, because increasingly this is becoming a threat to national security. Richard Kumado is a security consultant joining us via Zoom now. Thank you for your time. You've seen excerpts of what transpired in Aquitia. I was there myself, and I must say that the Ghana Police Service did an excellent job. No doubt that was a peaceful exercise, but for this very incident, which the NPP is now latching onto, believing that, of course, the comments and the actions by Chief Sofo Azoka should not go unpunished. Do you feel that there'll be any security implications if nothing happens?
No, definitely. You just heard from one of the journalists telling the petitioner that the police at Aquitia have started an investigation into the matter. And so that ends it. The police are aware. The police have seen it. There were normal police officers around them. It started as a friendly encounter. Then somebody threw an arm and certain comments were made, which were unfortunate. But that notwithstanding, this is one of the best national election police operations we've seen in the past 20 or 30 or 50 years. And so let nobody take that shine away from IGP Yohonu. We say kudos to the IGP, kudos to the police officers, kudos to the media, kudos to the politicians who behave themselves properly. This is a one-off blind action that is within the capacity of the police to investigate.
You're calling that a one-off, but except to say that this is coming from no meaner person than the first vice chairperson of the National Democratic Congress. He controls a constituency within the party.
Blessed, please. We are not concerned about the personalities involved.
Now, why not? This is someone who has significant following. His comments are crucial, isn't it?
Please. Somebody made an unfortunate statement. The police were there, they heard it. There has been some level of authentication. The police have the capacity to investigate this and to deal with it. I have always been saying that when it comes to elections, the police have three basic things to do: to create a safe environment for voting, to ensure that voters enjoy highest levels of safety, to make sure that they provide security assurances for electoral commission officers and the media to do their job. These three things were well overboard. The police did a fantastic job. Their public relations and their customer service was superb. Their strategic positioning was superb. Their maneuvering was fantastic. And they did a yeoman's job. So we shouldn't take that from the police. And I'm saying that this particular incident, in as much as it happened at the blind side of everybody, you saw a number of police officers there. And it is clear to the police that they need to look into it. And that is why the police at Aquitia did an investigation. So that is where we are. I don't think this poses any manner of security threat.
Okay, this is the point. I'm just reviewing this video, and of course my viewers can also follow me on that. You see that police appearing to be pleading with a civilian when it comes to enforcing the law. Is that professional stuff?
You didn't want me to say that. Hold on. You didn't want me to say that. But if you play the video from the beginning,
yes,
and I saw you at Aquitia, and we all know what happened at Aquitia. And Blessed, you remember that when this whole thing started, it was like a father and son. And you saw a journalist in front of them, and they were talking to themselves. And Chief Azoka know who he is, and Chief Buga know who he is, and the two of them, a father and a son. And he was saying, he used certain words I cannot see on air. Then one thing led to the other. So it was like a plant-friendly something that
Richard, seriously, this doesn't seem friendly to us, is it? And if it were to be a friendly exchange, you wouldn't find the New Patriotic Party now asking the IGP to deal with this. Because beyond this, he's made some rhetoric as well against the minority leader and some of the leading members of the NPP. That's not a friendly comment, was it?
No, definitely. Those comments were unfortunate. And I condemned that one in no certainty. And I said the police have the capacity to investigate it. It takes two to tango. And I don't think the police will shy away from cautioning both parties or whatever the outcome of the investigation will be. But let us not pretend to say that the police didn't do a good job at Aquitia. There was no violence at Aquitia. This is an NDC NPP usual stop, and we cannot align this to any threat against national security. The IGP did a good job. The IGP has men on the ground. The IGP has police officers around Chief Zoka, our grandfather Chief Azoka, and our uncle Chief Buka. Okay. And I believe the police will investigate it. So we have to wait for the investigation to be completed. But I can tell you that the IGP will deal with this matter precisely as possible.
The culture, the entire culture of having, tension whenever we have by-elections, it's not anything to write home about, is it?
Definitely. And that is why you have 5,000 police officers or huge number of police officers at Aquitia. The police officers who got Aquitia were specialized forces within the Ghana Police Service. Their movement, their resources, their equipment, and the maintenance of such large numbers is very expensive. But then the police can also look on. We are just talking about Chief Azoka and Chief Buka, the authentication they have that is trying to override the achievement of the police at Aquitia. They cannot leave them because these two parties decide that everywhere they meet, they will fight. And from the backdrop of what happened at Ablikmanov and the videos that came online, people threatening to turn Aquitia into a blast zone, that they want to fight and fight at all costs. The IGP thought it wise to send 5,000 men with the BNI there, with other security officers who were in Mufti. And Blessed, you saw them all over the place. And the police did a good job. You saw the police performing customer service for the first time. You saw the police performing public relations for the first time. You saw the police doing entry and exit for the first time. If the police was the one conducting the election, they would have declared the election results faster than what the Electoral Commission was doing. And those should be some of the discussion we should be holding. Why is it costing us so much police operations when elections are supposed to be a civil arena, a civil event in an area where peace and safety is supposed to be achieved? But these two parties decide to fight. So we can understand, and that is the discussion we need to be having going forward.
Okay, basically you're telling us, Richard, no punishment, Chief Azoka goes home free.
No. The police will investigate it, and where punishment is supposed to, it has to be effected. Because you know why? Non-punishable of offenses will always rationalize bad behavior and promote antisocial tendencies in society. I personally was asking myself, why will Chief Azoka come all the way from Tamale to Akwatia for a fanfare or for a sunlight or for fresh air? I think he has played his part in Ghana when it comes to NDC and MPP elections and politics. He's an elderly person now. He should have stayed at home for the young ones to brief him. But then Chief Bukai is his son, it is brother, it is cousin, it is nephew. This is the way they joke, and they have done this for many
and that's
years.
the part. That's the part I don't seem to want to come to terms with, based on what you're telling us. Because if you're telling us, obviously, that this was.
No, I'm not talking about the statements he made. I'm not talking about the statements he made against the life of.
Richard, we can see the pictures on the screens now, and clearly you see that wasn't. Is that how you play with friends? I mean, that's strange.
No.
That's strange to me, actually.
You are my brother. You are not showing, brother, you are my brother. You are not showing the beginning of the conversation.
Yeah,
when you show the beginning of the conversation,
Richard,
you will see them in a friendly chat. They were joking, they were chatting.
Yeah, but if you're chatting and it ended up in a fight, there's a fight, isn't it?
Agreed. I surrender. I'm saying that the statement he made were
Richard, it doesn't look like a fight to me. Probably what you're trying to also do from a security point of view is to douse the flame and also bring down the tension. Obviously, it's part of your security training. But what I want us to do is to deal with the root cause of some of these things that we find happening whenever we have elections. How can we make the political class a bit more a bit more respectful, if I should say, towards a democratic process? Because this is obviously not how we want our elections to go, is it?
You are struggling to put up a word there. I'm also struggling to bring out some words. But then if I say on your show that they have to be reasonable enough, I hope I'll be permitted. So public education, let's create awareness. Let's appeal to their conscience. And let's hope that they will become a bit more reasonable. Other than that, voting is a civil event. And it's a very basic one. And it's a simple one. There should be no way they should fight. There should be no way somebody should, try to beat up anybody. There should be no way somebody should threaten anybody. You are there to form a line and vote for your preferred candidate. But you always remember that people who do not come from the constituencies, we call them the non-actors. They are the ones who come there to create problems for whatever happens, from Ablekumanov to Akwatia. Fortunately, there were a lot of police officers around, so they couldn't get into the sensitive areas to bring the kind of troubles we will be afraid of. This particular one is unfortunate. The police must investigate it. And the officers involved must be cautioned, because these are people we know.
Okay.
And they are high-risk personalities with backgrounds that can degenerate into some other thing.
The IGP gave us firm assurances that by-elections going forward would not be characterized, by violence. Talk less of the national exercises in terms of our elections. I must say, because I was in Aquitia myself, that the IGP has done an excellent job. You feel I'm wrong on that?
Definitely, yes. He did a good job. Their positioning was excellent. Public relations was great. Customer service was excellent. Their maneuvering was fantastic. And overall, professionalism was far above. And I gave them 10 over 10. I think this is one of the best the police have done when it comes to national elections and policing. They did what they are supposed to do perfectly. But blessed, Uncle Yohonu has always been with police operations. When Uncle Kudalo was the IGP, Uncle Yohonu was the national head of operations. If you go back and check his credentials and what he did at Tema, what he did at Accra region, when he said he was going to send 5,000 men, I wasn't surprised at all. Where I was a little bit jittery was the criteria they were going to use to allow the likes of Joy and TV3 to get in there, and they wouldn't allow some other media houses to be in there. I was thinking media had to agitate. But thankfully, you guys who had opportunity to be in there, you relate so well with the guys outside, and it was peaceful. And so that thing, they've done a yeoman's job. I think we also need to be looking at the costs involved.
Yeah.
Because these are the specialized officers of the police.
Okay.
And it's very expensive
let me tell you,
moving them in terms of their resources.
Yeah, while praising the IGP, there's outstanding issues we have with him as media practitioners. Obviously, the last one was not a good spectacle, the Ablikma North incident. And we're still waiting for more people to be prosecuted.
No, pleasure. That was a dead issue. The police have investigated the matter. They've sent it to court. What happened from the court is not the responsibility of the police. That is the judicial system, and that is the court. I have always been of the view that in the area of crime prevention and crime prosecution, the justice system play a key role. Because we are prosecutors, we will investigate, we will gather the evidence and present the people before the court. Whatever comes out of the court goes way out of the hands of the police. So if people have issue with the judgment and what the terms of the judgment is, then they need to speak to the court directly and not the police, because the police have done their job.
Oh, so you feel all the outstanding matters are dealt with?
Yeah, definitely. The people were arrested, they were investigated and put before court. And judgment came before we went to Aquitia. My understanding is that people have issues with the actual terms of the judgment. The people didn't get custodian sentence. They were fine. And it's also part of punitive actions. But I'm saying that from law enforcement point of view, we have done the investigations. We have arrested the people, put them before court. Whatever happened between we putting them before court and the judgment from the court is a responsibility of the justice system and not the police.
Richard Ahengba was asking a very instructive question as to why Chief Azoka hasn't been picked up yet. You feel it's a fair statement to make?
Yeah, definitely yes. But I don't think he has the right to be questioning the integrity of the police. He has no business doing that. He has never been a police officer before. He's a politician who sometimes says things he's not supposed to say. The police have done a good job. Allow them. They have started the investigation. You do not dictate to the police. And that is the area I disagree with him. And I have a problem with him when he begins to speak in that manner. Some of us have put in 29 years. How many years has he put in? None. So, hey, come on, leave the police alone. They know what they are doing. They will get a job done. We are just saying that IGP Yohonu has done a yeoman's job. This is the best we have seen in the past 8 years or in the past 10 years or in the past 15 years. The police officers as Aquitia have instituted investigation into this matter, and they will deal with it. He also confirmed that the IGP gave them somebody to receive the petition and said that they should find time and come and see him. So do not impugn negative tendencies into what the man has done. This is a man that has lived his life as a professional police officer. He has done it all, and he has saved this country from many threats that is against us. And you should not be speaking that way. You do not dictate to the police. And I hate it when politicians do that. It's uncalled for. It's not necessary at all.
Do you feel that very often the political class is taking advantage of the police service and not giving it the due respect they deserve each time not necessarily when we're just doing elections, but beyond?
Definitely, that is what they do. And can you imagine a politician threatening a police officer that when I come to power, I'll transfer you? And you bastardize the police with your political foot soldiers who have no business being there. And your failure as a politician to provide them jobs, you push them there and you brag about this on your platforms. And the police is struggling with capacity building. And they deal with the little resources they have. And you have young boys and police in politics threatening police officers. I think it's uncalled for. And in as much as it's calling on the police to do ABCD, They are the first culprit, and most of them needed to be arrested and put behind bars. It's unheard of. We take personal, we are hurt as law enforcement officers when we see young men who are politicians speak to us in that way. I have put in 29 years, blessed, of my life into this country as a law enforcement officer and as a security intelligence officer. How many years has your honor put in? And how many years is he left to go on retirement? So don't talk to the man that way, please. How many years have you put in? You are just a politician. And you should be mindful of what you say to law enforcement officers. What has been the resources to give to the police?
Yeah, but if we're paying you with our taxpayers, public funds, by extension taxpayers' money, they do have a right, certainly, to ask what the Ghana Police Service is doing. Fair enough, isn't it?
No, it's a shared responsibility. When he was in politics and he was being paid with the taxpayers' money, who has he be accountable to? Has he be accountable to anybody? It's a shared responsibility. We are not holding brief for the police, but I'm saying that it's unheard of when you have young men threatening police officers that we will transfer you and we will do this to you, we will do that to you, and they bastardize the police officers and create all manner of problems. And you want crime to be investigated, and you want prosecutions to take place, and you want intelligence to be gathered, when you are the same people who bastardize almost all the security agencies. Before the election, you saw some of the commentaries coming out. Where are we now? Let's stop that. It's very demoralizing when you speak to law enforcement that way. Brother, that is all the point I was making. I'm not holding breath for the law enforcement officers. They have a duty and the responsibility to discharge because they are being paid. But when we all live in the same country, we have the shared responsibility, and some other people think they are above everybody. What qualifications do they have? And they think the police officers and the BNI officers and the military officers do not have? Jesus, I have about 6 different specialties. But do you ever see me talking about education and what I do and what I don't do? I think we need to stop it, please.
In fact, all of these things happening now is just bringing up the whole issue as to how we can depoliticize security when it comes to elections. What sort of reforms, and we need to, close this chapter before I let you go, what sort of reforms would you want to see going into the police service and their election security provision then?
Optimum performance means that enough resources will have to be provided for the police in particular, enough equipment, and enough resources, and they have to build capacity in their respective operational areas. What your Honor did at Aquitia demonstrated that with the right resources, with the right equipment, and people determined to do the job, they will get it done. They rehearsed their roles, they prepared for it. So operational-wise, they were operational prepared, and the preparedness was far above board. They did everything they have to do to ensure that they provide the safety that people need and the security the Electoral Commission officers need. The police need all manner of equipment and all manner of resources we are not willing to provide. Go back and check their budget. Check the budget of the military. When the employees remunerations and the payment for workers, there's nothing left for equipment and the capital expenditure. And you demonstrated it on your TV when we have the helicopter crash. Check the resources the BNI need. Check the training regimes. Check that of Yoko. Remonacha was crying recently that his budget is too low. Check the budgetary allocations we give to them. And yet they give out the best for this country. So I think that we might be talking of reforms, but then it's basically about 3 things. Come on, let them do the job and stop interfering in what they do. Then number 2, provide the kind of resources they will need, not the ones you politicians who go and lobby and come and dump on them. Let it be based on the risk-based and performance-based approach. Then again, respect the police, because we work together as a basic community in one ecosystem, and we need one another when it comes to crime prevention and crime investigation. If we can do these basic 3, which is not rocket science, I believe we will go forward in terms of law enforcement and the effectiveness of it.
Great submissions now for the first half of the show. It's been an insightful one. Richard Kumalo, the security analyst, joining us here on UPfront to talk about the concerns of the New Patriotic Party post the Akwatia by-election. Richard, we'll see you again, hopefully. And the hope as well is that, of course, we'll get to see all these reforms that you're talking of being implemented. Probably I give you one more take on Black Maria. And, of course, Richard is just leaving us at this point. I was just going to ask him about the Black Maria, which is the, mission of the Ghana Police Service, of course, during this whole exercise. But when we get back, the political parties have a reaction to this, all of this that's been happening, and this petition coming through from the New Patriotic Party. So will the NDC apologize to leading figures of the NPP, including the minority leader? Big question. We'll get some answers, plus hear from the minority side in Parliament. Please stay. Okay, so will the National Democratic Congress apologize now that the New Patriotic Party is asking, first off, for the IGP to act? At least some say an apology from Chief Azoka would perhaps douse the flames and ask get the opposition political party to tone down and to possibly withdraw their petition to the Inspector General of Police. So what exactly is the position of the NDC? Joining us now is the Deputy National Organizer, Elikem Kotoko, but you have the statement there on your screens pointing out the demands exactly coming through from the New Patriotic Party in terms of the petition that they're sending now to the IGP. Elikem, you've seen what's on the screen now, and the question is, first off, will your first national vice apologize to the New Patriotic Party?
Thank you so much. Blessed. Good evening to our viewers. I chanced on that document, and a lot of things ran through my mind. And I am so sure that the discerning Ghanaian watching understands that the NPP's concern is not about that scuffle between our first vice and theirs as well. It is out of shame for an embarrassing defeat, for something that they felt they were so poised to redeem their image as leadership, and that they have failed at, and so trying to find straws to lash onto. Why am I saying so? The very characters involved in these petition, I am aware, Apenyo Markins is not far from May 5th, when during a demonstration, he assaulted a police officer. What has happened to that till date, we're not aware. But you see,
you're doing political polarization now, and
no,
it's not something that it's a place.
So I'm just coming to
starting off the conversation. I mean, this is a clear act of assault.
Exactly what I was coming to. Okay. That what necessitated whatever actions Chief Azoka took. It reminded me again also of the World Cup match between France and Italy, and the reaction of Zinedine Zidane.
Right, that headbutt.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Chief Azoka didn't do that. Well, we weren't praying for that to happen. But it was clearly a condemnable act. You're struggling so hard as a political party to apologize. Why would you apologize to the NPP?
There's nothing to apologize. There's absolutely nothing to apologize for.
Oh, really?
Very frankly, there's nothing to apologize for. The truth of the matter is that what do you think would have necessitated the actions of Chief Azoka? He was provoked. So provocative behavior is equally an offense, and definitely there will be the need to hear his side to know what exactly the other party has said or done that provoked him so much to that extent. Now, let me also give you another narrative of something that transpired in the same Aquitia where I was. Okay. At our party office in Aquitia, Apenyo Markins and the General Secretary,
Justin.
The one nobody respects. What's the name?
Justin Kodia.
Good.
But are you saying people don't respect?
Oh,
that's the General Secretary.
They are Ablekumanov parliamentary candidate refused to respect his directives.
Well, let's move on with that.
Yeah. So, and then their vehicle stopped in front of our party office. With their guys getting off their vehicles, they started peeling off our posters on the walls and on cars. Another very provocative attitude. Meanwhile, that conduct in itself is also an offense. But we felt that as a party, the concern and the focus for us at the time was the polling stations, the ballot. And therefore, whatever they were doing at that point, there was no polling station at that office. And therefore, we somehow ignored them, even though our party faithfuls decided they would have actually also reacted. That would have been more volatile, because that was also very provocative.
To be honest with you,
it is the reason why I'm saying that.
We trailed Apenyo Markin to the first polling station, the polling station just before your party office in Aquitia. I must say that's the aspect that I personally watched. When the confrontation happened, Apenyo Markin only walked away. How come that you're saying he came to your party office again to try to do the same thing that caused tension?
I don't know what happened at any other place, but I'm telling you what happened at the Aquitia party office. That was not a polling station.
Of the NDC.
It was just, yes, of the NDC. So they were driving by and then slowed down, stopped apparently, then the guys got off and started peeling off posters off vehicles.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, well, but were you with them at the...
I was with them at the polling station.
But not at the party office.
Where the attempt was made to remove a flyer belonging to the NDC, I believe.
So at least, so you see...
That's for the polling station, but I've not seen that at your party office.
I am happy to hear this because I didn't know that. It even means that they had attempted, they were trying to do so at one point, and when they couldn't do it, they moved further, got to our party office, and effected that action.
But I haven't seen that.
You didn't see that.
At your party office.
Yeah, you didn't see that.
That is what I'm saying.
But at least you saw an attempt by them at a polling station, at another venue, to do that.
Because per the political parties, law, or I mean the laws governing the conduct of the elections, you shouldn't have party items.
And you agree with me that
at a polling
there are
center.
processes to go through for that. You are just supposed to go to an electoral officer and report that, so they take it off. Because if that was there days or weeks before they set up their polling station, you do not expect me to come and be taking it off. And I do not expect you also to take it off, because whenever you take it off, it is considered a provocative behavior, which is equally also an offense, because peeling off that poster was a crime as well. And you see, so I am not trying to equalize, but I am only seeing a political party that has failed, and continually its leadership has failed their membership. And therefore they want to lash onto straws to lay some credence of their very leadership, which has failed. Okay. And so I do not see why there's a need for any apology. If you ask me, however, I would rather even recommend that both parties at the highest level should call for a meeting so that this matter can be resolved appropriately.
Okay, Elikem, just a minute. Let's bring in the Deputy Minority Whip, who's also joining the conversation now. Honorable Jerry Ahmed, thank you for joining us. Elikem Kotoko is pointing out some of the reasons and circumstances leading to this very attack that you're complaining of. So it didn't happen in a vacuum, you agree? What led to Chief Azoka making those comments which your party is incensed about?
Thank you very much for having me. And I've been monitoring your show. And first of all, let me make the comment about I think is it Richard Kumado?
Yes.
The one who claims to be a security analyst. I do not know him. I mean, this is my first time watching him. I thought that his submissions were very porous and awful, and it's very right for him to know that for someone who calls himself a security analyst, the first point of interest should be peace, and therefore your submissions and conversations thereof should indicate or show that you are someone who is more non-partisan and you have the capacity to deal with the issues. I mean, how would you go on to chastise a member of a party because he's requesting that the police should take an action? I saw your frantic effort in trying to virtually get him to understand the conversation, and he was still going off. And I've been kind of worried about the kind of lowest ebb some of these people bring to bear when they are on a major stakeholder station like Joy. I've been worried because, I mean, if you ask me, there's no contribution I got from him.
I get that. It's fine. I mean, we all would have opinions on what's happening. He says that by and large, the Ghana Police Service delivered a great election. So let's move into the aspect of assaults on alleged assault and threats against your own boss in Parliament, Alexander Penyumake. Exactly what are you seeking from the IGP? Let me get that clearly, because some say, and just as we're hearing from Elikem, it didn't happen in a vacuum. These comments were made because there was a provocation by a third national vice chairperson.
Blessed. Assuming without admitting that the third national vice or the second vice of the new patriotic parties, the third vice, had made a statement which was provocative, I'm sure there are ways to pick up that information. I'm sure that you saw the presence of police officers, especially the lady. I mean, it got to a stage you could just tell she could not control Azoka, an elderly man of this stature and age. Just look at what happened. And had somebody pouncing a slap on the second vice chair. And we are saying that because somebody said some vituperative or provocative things, and that is the reason why we should have this kind of assault. And then now the discussion has now departed from the assault. It's now come to, oh, MPP leaders are failed, they didn't do okay, so they are looking for an excuse. That is clear. And now there's another discussion that Afenyo and some other people, the respected minority leader and some other people, had led a group to go and remove posters. All of that are palpable falsehood. Let anybody show you a video of them going to do one of that, just one.
But Elikem says he was there.
There were equally media reported. Who are we?
That's the second deputy minority.
Is that the gentleman?
Yes.
Is that the gentleman?
Yes, that's Derry. Yes.
The one who was involved in the misbehavior in Parliament.
Well, I don't know what you're seeking to achieve, but he says that
he was trying to run down.
He says where's the evidence?
He was trying to run down a national security expert. So I wanted to be sure.
Did you see
if he also had that credibility? But if he's the one, that's okay. You know, my point is that there were media people who even covered that. And so there were media reports that actually said same.
Yeah, but where's the evidence? He's asking for the evidence where?
You see, it is the reason why I am not sure the NDC is interested in using the media front as a battleground to perpetuate or to use as a medium to resolve a matter of this nature. If they feel that the avenue they want to pursue is right for them, they should do so. We would love to meet them in the court as well, and whatever evidence there is for us to adduce.
So you don't have the evidence in that?
We do. This is not the venue for that.
Right.
Look, I am
but
not...
if you claim that Penyumake indeed went ahead to take some of these flies at the party office...
That is why I'm telling you, there are a lot of footages. Right. There are a lot of footages, even with reference to that. And so if he has not seen it, it is out of sheer saying that on his blind side, he never saw that. And therefore, he's requesting for that. At the time when it matters most, it will be made available. And when eggs are splashed in your face, I wonder what the response is.
Do you take responsibility that the NDC sort of created an atmosphere of intimidation during this
That cannot be. And knowing the NDC, you would agree that we have not and will not do any such things. Because this, I must again say, let me commend the police and the IGP in particular for having conducted themselves so professionally in the entire process and making it so peaceful. But for these few incidents, I'm sure everybody agrees that everything went on well.
Don't you feel that an apology will simply solve this?
An apology for what? An apology for provoking me and also reacting? Don't forget that when you provoke me, my reaction will be different from another person. I could react by probably slapping you. Somebody may react by punching you. Another may react by spitting in your face. We are humans and we know all these things. So let's not pretend that we do not know. Azoka will not just be standing there. Then you will be smiling with him and be talking, and all of a sudden he gives you a slap. No way. That is what I'm saying. One would have even been asked, so what exactly did he say? But let us leave that matter for another day. If they wanted to go the full haul, the NDC will be ready to go that full haul.
One more minute.
It is the reason I again told you that.
Let me close this chapter with Jerry. Jerry, so he says, well, it's not even about the evidence. If you feel you have anything to take up in law, you should be doing that. What do you plan to do in Parliament, for instance? Because the minority leader has been, as you're claiming through your statement, allegedly has been threatened. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Honorable Jerry Ahmed, you'd have to unmute so we can hear the points you're making briefly, yes. Okay. Elikim, which is that, I hope, one more time, I hope you can hear me, Honorable Jerry Ahmed. Okay, we seem to be having a challenge there.
Yeah.
So that's the case about, whatever it is that the NPP plans to do. But going forward now, the issue about the meeting, for instance, that
I think I was having a problem.
okay, apologies. Just close that chapter for me. He says you can pursue whatever platform you want to use. Would you consider Parliament? What's the minority leader thinking right now?
Well, I first of all think that as young men and women, we should always think about the fact that peace is critical. We are in the business of politics. We are thriving because there is peace. It matters not which political party you belong to. What matters is that we should ensure that tomorrow when we are not here, the structures and institutions are working. Somebody slaps someone. Somebody threatens to kill someone. And then we come and all we do is to be political about it. There are structures. We've taken steps. I saw my National Communications Director officially send a petition to the IG. I expect that we should take action on each and every step, what we have seen, get the evidence and prosecute all people who are found culpable. I think that should be okay. I don't think that, obviously, like he's saying, I agree. I don't think that anybody should be compelled to apologize or otherwise, really. I mean, apology should come from the person and believing that, yes, I want to take a step to forge ahead. And nobody should be compelled. If nobody saw that the third vice chairman was slapped, that is a good thing. Let's also take it in our good strikes. I understand that when it is an NPP person who is slapped, nobody can see. Same way is happening in Ablekuma North. And yesterday I made this point. Those who have been prosecuted or those who are allegedly before a court of law to be prosecuted or have gone through some legal processes, just like you were able to take pictures of people who were prosecuted or people who are sent to Yoko or NIB or whatever, let us have the list and put photos of those people to be sure that even started a certain session. If we are willing to let this country get into some sort of unpeaceful country, then it's we, especially as young men and women, who are going to be the ones to suffer most. If you have a father who is 90 years, what's the father going to lose so much if he dies at 90? But if you are 40, if you are 45, if you have wife and children, and you understand that the peace and tranquility of this nation, this republic, is key to your survival, you won't come and sit somewhere and just be spewing all manner of whatever, So I think that the right step is what we have taken. We started by officially lodging a complaint, sending a petition to the IG. We are not going to be judges in our own court. We are leaving it to the public. We are leaving it to the well-meaning Ghanaian people. We are leaving it to the CSOs. And some of them that have also gone dead, we are leaving it to all of them. Whatever they choose to do, God is still alive.
All right. Grateful for your time. Jerry Ahmed Chai, unfortunately, not too much time that we have. So let me give the last take to you, Elikim.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure Jerry is one of those who is supposed to be talking about peace. I've just remembered well. And as I was quizzing earlier, this was somebody who you and I saw on telly vandalizing state property in the House of Parliament.
The parliamentary report isn't out yet.
We saw it. I don't need a report.
But the report isn't out, the one commissioned by the Speaker.
There's a footage. There's a footage. I agree, I am for peace, but I think Jerry should be the last person to ever try to even talk anything close to peace, because he has not demonstrated it so far as a member of Parliament. These are some of the people who do not deserve even that title, for which reason some people do not want to be addressed as honorables. But that aside, like I am saying, you have the right to pursue what you want to do at what level. And it is why I'm establishing here that, do you think that Azoka in his right frame of mind will just walk to somebody and try to assault? We all have reactionary behaviors or reactions to an action. And so if you assault me verbally, I may assault you physically. If you provoke me and I feel it is so painful, I may react in a certain way. It may be involuntary. And that is why I gave you an example of even Zinedine Zidane and the headbutting incidents and all that. Who would have thought that Zidane, who controls himself well, would have done so? So we are all humans and have certain limits to which we can contain certain things. But you see, it is so unfortunate that the NPP think that they would want to rather make capital out of a matter of this nature, forgetting the embarrassing defeat they have handed to their party people, having failed to campaign properly, having failed to appreciate the reasons why they lost 2024 December 7th elections. And I have maintained this everywhere, that even if they cause a by-election to be effected in the heart of their strongest hold today, the NDC will snatch that from
why
them.
is the NDC taking glory for winning a by-election, I mean, which even came up in such a sad circumstance, right? We lost an MP who was then sitting on the chair or the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. In the words of the minority leader, it's as though the NDC is not being fair to the MPP now.
No. In the first place, let me recall two incidents. We had Kwabena Japan say on a platform that they have decided not to contest Tamale Central and therefore NDC should return that favor. No, in case he has short memories, we rather did them that favor. Ejisu, we did not contest. And therefore, they are probably returning their favor if they are not contesting in Tamale Central. Then, when you have them, their vice president, who is supposed to be one of their top statesmen, go out there to make very childish, unwise, irresponsible, reckless, and insensitive commentary, such as saying that the NDC's pressure amounted to the gentleman's death. That is so sad. So, with all what they did, using the gentleman's picture on their flyer and all that, the people could see through that you never did anything development-wise to us, and suddenly you want us to. Well, the people of Aquitia still needed representation, and that is what has happened. Right. The NDC went there to campaign, and it is only to tell you that from the word go when we were contesting that the gentleman did not win the elections, the NDC won that elections, we have been vindicated that what we said is nothing but just the truth.
Elikem Kotoko, we may have to save this conversation for another day. There's another by-election, but it will be a walk in the park for the NDC because you obviously would not have the MPP there. But should you...
Well, they said they will not be there, but if Ablekumanov is anything to go by, they may show up again because
anyway,
their candidates always disrespect their leadership. And
okay, politicians for you. Some say don't trust them. Some say there are different politicians, but the jury is out there. You decide. Elikem Kotoko, thank you for spending time with us here on UPfront. And also to you, Jerry Ahmed Shaib, the second Deputy Minority Whip here on UPfront. And to you, Richard Kumado, Security Analyst, joining us here on UPfront. I am blessed to come. Until then, log on to myjoyonline.com. More stories there for you. Bye-bye for now.